Hello everyone, Fluffy here, back with another mukbang. I don't know how short it's going to be. Uh, just going to have something simple today. See, I being photobombed by not Besito this time, but my daughter's dog, Miss Molly Tamale. Um, Today what I have for you is, I mentioned in one of my other mukbangs that I made some of my homemade salsa, and here it is. And it's been sitting a while, so it's really nice and hot. And then I have the blue corn tortilla chips that's going to go with it. I love blue corn tortilla chips. They don't taste any different, and I guess the appeal is that it's blue. I don't know. More like purple. And then I have some liverwurst. You can tell I already got into it. My daughter bought it for me. In German, it's called Bauernschweige. Some call it. It's from the Deutsche Küche. Yes, I am half German. This came from Aldi's. My daughter bought it for me, and the bread is really dense German bread, and it's really dense because they suck all the air out, vacuum pack it and stuff, and it's also Deutsche Küche, which means German kitchen. So hopefully I've got a precarious setup, and so hopefully we won't watch me get it all over the place, but go ahead and get some out. Now, have y'all ever had liverwurst? I don't know if it's doesn't taste like liver to me, but set it over here so I can hold on to this. I don't know. I didn't want to set up the whole thing. Usually I use 2 TV trays, and here lately I've wanted a close-up, and so this is technically a cooking mukbang. It really isn't, is it? Because I'm not cooking. Dang it, I wanted it to count. So, how did everybody's weekend go? Had the pleasure of my wife being off this weekend. We didn't do a whole lot. She's been kind of feeling under the weather. She's got some stressful situations happening, and so she didn't get a whole lot of sleep the other night, but I knew that was going to happen. Let's see if I can't cut this. Okay. Anyway, pardon me while I reach. Get these tortilla chips back up here. Okay. Oh, pretty good. I love liverwurst. I don't know about y'all. Rye bread, it's a little dry, but I think it's because of the density of it. It tastes dry, but it looks moist, and it kind of crumbles, but I feel like more liverwurst, less bread, right? Anyway, so I had a pretty uneventful weekend, and sometimes those are the best, right? Rest and relaxation. Hopefully we'll be going by to see my mom today. I haven't been over in a while. I've been kind of a neglectful daughter. I don't talk like that. That's why I'm being sarcastic, but I've been kind of a neglectful daughter. I could have at least called her, and I didn't, so shame on me. I haven't seen her since our grandbaby's birthday party, so I need to go by there. Whether the wife is up to going anywhere or not today, I think I'll go by. Ooh, I must have been mad when I made this. Ooh. But it's still good. I like to take this salsa. I made some for my nephew. He really enjoyed it. Made an extra big batch so I could give some to my mom too. She's always buying me things. So I think this is another top she bought me. It's a little tight, a little small. Sit here and look pretty for the mukbang. I think it works fine. Stand up and I look like Baby Huey because it's too tight around the belly area. So you fiber warriors, how'd your weekend go? Did you take care of yourself this weekend? Give yourself a break? I sure hope you did. Sometimes weekends are the worst because people think, family obligations and all that, and those are fine and dandy unless you're feeling like hell. So it's good to get out. It really is. Right now, I'm feeling like I just really don't want to go anywhere today, but I feel like that most days. But I'm going to force myself to go see my mom. Get me up and moving. Get to see my mom, and she'll be happy that she saw me. I'll get to, oh, you remembered how to get to my house? And our sarcastic answer is usually, yes, Mom, we have the GPS. My family's full of smartasses, if you haven't figured that out already. My wife wants to do mukbangs. She just sees how much fun I have. She doesn't really understand them, but she's kind of getting in the spirit. She set up a channel, and she was like, oh, I want to do a mukbang. What can I eat? And where's this going to be? Oh, and what I'm going to say is she wants to be like a healthy mukbang. And I know in the very, very first one, and I'm telling on myself again because there haven't been a whole lot of views on it. It was my first video. I enhanced it to the point of it looks like crap. There's a noise in the background. So one of the things I said was that I was going to start eating healthy. And if I got on here, then, y'all would guilt me into eating healthy because then y'all would be seeing what I ate. Yeah, well, second or third mukbang and that went out the window. So now I just eat what I can get together in the kitchen. And for the most part, these are the first chips we've really had in the house in a while because we're really not supposed to have this. That's why I like my salsa, because it's natural stuff. Preservatives, things like that. But I wasn't an intentional liar. My intentions were good, but that kind of didn't work out. So, but her channel, I think, will be healthy eats, she says, but she likes to eat like me, and, well, not exactly like me, like, she wouldn't like the liverwurst. But I think the Germans put onions on here, pickles maybe. I know they put a layer of butter first, but I love butter sandwiches. But under liverwurst, I don't know. I don't think I've ever had that. But anyway, she got all upset up and helped her get set up last night. But then we remembered that I had to get this new computer with the webcam installed, because when I used her, remember the very first mukbang I did was with her computer and that webcam. Remember, because I spilt the food on there and I was hoping she didn't notice, but then again I showed her the video. Telling myself all the time. Anyway, then I had to use the phone, and then I got this one. So anyway, we realized it. So we tried to download another free webcam, and we got it downloaded. But she's still having problems. So we'll probably go to Walmart today, or she'll go to Walmart today. I have pretty cheap webcams. Money's tight towards the end of the month, but so either the next couple of days or maybe wait till the first. She'll get a webcam, and she'll be going. So when she does, I'll promote her on here. Right now, I don't want to say who she is because she's got no uploads or anything like that. So we'll see. I don't think she wants to just do mukbangs. I'm kind of excited for her because I've really had fun, and like I said in my last video, it makes me feel like I'm out and about, engaging in the world. I see how my numbers go up a little bit for people that I know. You can tell people are viewing them. Um, so, one of the things that I talked about in my very first video that I wanted to repeat in one of my videos because not a lot of people are viewing the first one, and it's really crappy resolution, so I really don't blame anyone. But one of the things that I did discuss was disability and how now, fortunately, it's a little easier to get approved for disability for fibromyalgia. Looking kind of crooked. So, and one of the things I wanted to say was, they always tell you that it's easier to use a lawyer or go through a law firm because you'll get approved quicker. Well, I've never tried the disability on my own. I found this. You have Facebook. I'm sure if you're on YouTube, you have a Facebook. I would be shocked if you did not. And how those suggested posts, come through. And I guess I had looked up, because, they spy on you, that spyware. And they noticed that I had been looking up disability. And so I got a advertisement for a law firm. So I don't know why, but something just told me, check them out and see. So I did. And went through them. It was really easy. If I'm not going to say it on camera who the company was that I went through, but I found out some friends of mine that I met through my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, her and her husband did disability claims, and they went through the same company, which I was shocked because we never really talked about it. Didn't know they were applying for disability. We got to chit-chatting through instant PM, private message, and she told me the company name. I was like, oh my God, I'm using them too. So she kind of helped me out of knowing what to expect, what they did next. And that was kind of cool. But anyway, I was already warned that even though I was going through a law firm, that I would probably get denied first time around. And I did. But we appealed a second time, and I ended up getting approved. Now, the whole process takes a while, so if you ever do it, you're going to have to be prepared for a wait. The government wants their money real quick, but have the other go away. They get to have it go the other way around, and they take their sweet cherry time about it. I have found that to be true, and I just blowing smoke out my butt. I'm speaking from experience. So, which is probably not the best idea. I probably should have had these pre-spread, but I thought it was going to be cool to watch. And if I were just on the table, then I would say, yeah, that would have been kind of cool. But just know I'm going to wear that salsa. But I got denied the first time around, and the reasons were absurd. And I'll tell you about them in just a second. I need to focus for like a few seconds with this because I really don't want to bring the house down. So what they do is, the company that I went through, we talked about why I was doing disability, and the woman on the phone, she does a pre-assessment, and if I fit the criteria, then they would take my case. So I liked her because I'm the type of person that I tell extra stuff. And I guess you really don't need to, you know what I mean? But I probably discussed my eye, and how I fell. Well, to get disability, you really don't need to know that. You know what I mean? Right. Molly, you didn't have to get down. I just didn't want her lying on you, baby. He's being mean. He wants his. Oh, you don't have to go in your cage. Well, now I have guilt. So, Anyway, what they do is she took my case, explained everything to her, said, looks like I have a good case. I talked about the fibro, talked about my fall, explained about work, having to leave. And so she said what will happen next is a caseworker will call me and they will do their actual interview, which is all through the law firm. So it took about 2 or 3 days, if I remember. And the lady calls me back. Now she said that it's going to be a 20-minute interview at least. Do you have the time? So I said, yeah. Well, they went through everything. Like she said, if you are currently having or have ever had any of these symptoms or things that I'm going to ask you, you say yes to. So I said, okay. And they went through a whole slew of stuff. And so for me, it was fairly easy as far as medical records went because I had an HMO and I've always used the same hospital. So I told them, everything that's wrong with me, you can find in my records at this particular hospital. And so she's like, okay. And then I told her, met the crappy surgery, and those records were at this other hospital. But my hospital has a copy of them. Did you know, as a side note, because you know I always veer off, that my current hospital, even though they have a copy of the other hospital's records, they cannot release them to me. Like if I go and ask for my records to be a copy of them being given to me, they'll do that. But they won't the other hospitals. They said that even though they have a copy, the other hospital still owns them. So I have to go through them to get a copy. Well, I gave this law firm permission to get all the things that they needed. So when I started explaining what's going to happen, well then what happened, well this is my case now, for everybody else is different, but pretty much it seemed like my sister's going through the same thing, and not for fibro, but for something else, and it's actually her husband, and I kind of talked through what happened to me, and it's the same thing is going through the same procedures for her, so I guess this is commonplace. So disability sends me 2 questionnaires, and sends the wife a questionnaire. One of them is work history, for as long back as you can remember. The second questionnaire is what I do every day, on a daily basis. Symptoms, can I bathe myself, what do I do as for activities, can I feed myself? And for the wife, her questionnaire was basically the same questions. Have you ever witnessed her, whatever, whatever. And she's like, some of these I don't watch you do. And I said, well, if you'll look at the front page of the questionnaire, it says, if you don't know, you just put, I don't know. So she does the questionnaire, and we send it all in. Well, then the law firm sends me a form for the doctor to fill out. Now, I found out that for disability, a doctor can no longer be the one to determine if you're disabled or not. They have nothing to do with that. They can't fill out any forms or anything like that. So what this form says, and this is the only really bad critique I have about this law firm, but other than that, they work beautifully. The form says that I'm to make an appointment with the doctor and go, while I'm in that appointment, ask him to fill it out. That you're to tell him that it's not a form that is required by disability. Well, duh, because they don't determine that anymore. Basically what it is, it's asking things that it asked me. You know, how many times has she come to see you? Can she walk? Or just different things like that. Apparently, the form, how they get around it is the form is actually for the law firm. I don't know if they send a copy or if they use it in case there's a problem. They use that as additional paperwork. But the doctor is not actually writing this form for disability. It's not a disability form. Well, I couldn't get to talk to my doctor. or couldn't get past his nurse. He doesn't fill out those forms. You know, we're not required to. And I try to explain to her, yes, this is what my law firm would like. And so she's an older nurse, and, you know, old school. And then, well, you can bring it by and we'll see if he'll fill it out. Like, okay. Well, I get frustrated. So on the form it says that if you're getting resistance from the doctor to fill it out, while you're still in the appointment, call us and we'll explain to the doctor. Well, I call the number and I get a recording. So my little smart-ass mouth, I'm like, really? Your form says that if you're in the middle of an appointment to call this number and y'all explain to my doctor? It's a good thing I'm not in the appointment because I'd have been sitting there looking like a dumbass because you're not answering your phone. So that was the only critique that I had. But when she finally does call me back, my caseworker, she says, well, it's extra, she didn't say leverage. It helps your case, but it's not required. We will still move forward, whatever. I said, well, I don't really think that they're going to fill it out. She says, don't worry about it. I mean, it helps the case, but it's not necessary to prove your case. I said, okay. So then they send me 2 appointments. One is to their physician, and the other one is to their psychologist because I've had bouts of depression. I've got depression now, PTSD because of my fall, but I don't see anybody. I just don't get on stairs and work out the depression with now the Mukbang's therapy. But, so, first appointment's to the doctor, and the whole time I'm in there, I fill out the form. It's almost like the one from disability. I don't know if they're trying to catch you in a lie or what, but they were almost basically the same questions. And so they're having me do an eye appointment, and they want me to take my glasses off. And I said, no, I'm not taking them off. And the lady looks at me, and she says, but we need to, I said, these are not corrective lenses, like to be able to read. I said, these are prisms for my double vision. If I take them off, you will be picking me up off the floor. I'm not taking off my glasses. So I get a speech. I see 3 nurses before I see the doctor. Do you know that each one of these nurses had the flippin' nerve? And I didn't say anything because I didn't want to jeopardize my disability thingy. Well, you know, you really should focus on losing some weight. And I go, oh, you're too big. Are you on diet? You might want to try your diet. Try a diet. I'm just looking at him. You know, I'm like, yeah. And the whole time I'm fuming. Do you know the only one who didn't mention my weight was the doctor? I'm like, really? Our one that should be discussing my overweightness? But anyway, that kind of irritated me. Actually, it hurt my feelings. So, she's doing everything, and we're talking about my eye and everything, and my abilities, and so she says, okay, just nodding her head. And then she says, well, they've approved, a disability has approved 1 x-ray. The doctor asked me what part of my body I want x-rayed. Oh, no, you're the doctor. I don't remember what I told her. Thinking back now, I should have said my lower back. But I don't know if I said my hip, my knee. I don't know. I guess my knee was hurting that day, so I think I said my knee. But I'm to see the psychologist, and we talked a while. Yeah, he verified. Yeah, PTSD. I'm going to recommend that you go on medication. I don't think so. But I'm just nodding politely. Anyway, it took a while, and I got back, and I got a denial. Well, they give you reasons. And one of the main ones said that under the guidelines, I'm not legally blind. And I'm thinking, none of the interviews, not with the law firm, not with the doctor, not with the psychologist, did I ever say that I thought I was legally blind. Hello, I got 2 eyes, I can see. So I said, okay. So I keep reading. And then one of the answers that I get was that in my form, form about work history, that I said that I worked fast food. And I have, even way back as a teen. So, because I'm not legally blind and all of that, I could always go back to doing fast food. Okay. I'm like, really? Okay. Well, I called Premier back, and I understand that they have a lot of clients. Well, still hadn't gotten around to it, but because whatever disability sends you, they send to the law firm. And they have to go through the law firm for everything, except for, I guess, sending me letters. So I called the lady out, and I told her that I had gotten the denial letter. She goes, you did? She goes, huh, let me look real quick. And they had gotten one. So we did the appeal. Well, after we did the appeal, I have to go see another doctor or anything. But I got lucky because the next person on the disability side, the caseworker on the disability end of it, calls me one day. And I got bill collectors that call me every now and again from 1990 or something. Well, if I don't recognize the number, I usually don't answer it, but something told me to answer it this day. And it was a disability caseworker. And he had a question about my work history. So I answered his question, and it was like a really short phone call on his end. And I said, can I ask you a question or make a statement? And I said, and it has to do with work history. And because I asked him, I said, are you going to be the one deciding whether I get disability or not? Yes, ma'am, I am. So that's when I said, can I make a statement? He got quiet, and I said, well, it's about my work history. He goes, oh, okay. Well, I told him. I said, excuse me, I don't know if you heard that, and if you did, I apologize. I said, on one of the denial portions, the letter I got, he said, yes. I said, it said that one of the reasons that I was being denied disability was because I worked fast food in the past, and I guess he had the form in front of him or the screen, because he goes, oh, yeah, Long John Silver's. I said, yeah, fry cook. He goes, yeah. So it's like he was reading it. I said, in the denial letter, it said that because I worked it before, that I can work it again. And he goes, yes. I said, sir, it's in there, in the medical form. It's in the questionnaire I sent y'all. I said, and it's in has to be on the form from the doctor you sent me to, because I put it on there that I cannot stand more than 5 or 10 minutes. 10 minutes pushing it if I'm leaning against something. I said, what fast food restaurant do you know that's going to let me sit every 10 minutes? I said, the position I had as fry cook, I said, the manager who hired me was a really old friend of mine. I said, and even she's not going to let me put a stool up in front of the fryer and let me sit. He kind of chuckles and says, no, well, you're right. I said, well, that's all I really wanted to say. And he says, okay. Well, it didn't take him long, but I got an approval letter. So I got approved for disability. I thought they based it on the pay that you were making when you left. So in my mind, counting your chickens before they're hatched, putting the cart before the horse, that whole crap I was doing. Because I was counting on really close to what I was making when I worked for the state. Not true. We took a real big hit. I'm like, golly, what formula do they use? You know what I mean? So, but he knows that, I looked up, dumbass. I'm supposed to look up with your glasses. Okay, do it that way. I'm grateful for what I got. Very happy that I got approved, because every little bit helps. But we just got to persevere and don't give up. Because had I not, the law firm said, had I not got approved the second time, then the third time would have been in front of a judge. And they said that's when most people get theirs, because you get to talk to the judge and they get to see the person that's asking for it. And, with disability, all they see is a form. So, but I got lucky, and this took about 6 months, I'm thinking. Back pay, or not necessarily from when you got disabled. Like, they didn't back pay me from when I quit the state. They back pay you from the time that you get approved to the time that you start getting your first monthly check. Well, as I was counting on that too, I got misinformed. Now, they tell you, we see that as of yada, yada, yada date, you became disabled. So for me, it was the day that I quit the state that I became disabled. Well, there's a 5-month waiting period. So you don't get paid for the first 5 months that you had to leave your situation or, quote unquote, be disabled. So I got back pay for a couple of months. So I just wanted to tell y'all that's kind of what happens. And the suckiest thing about it all, I think, is that, well, there's two. The first one is medical insurance. They agree with you. They give you the disability, and they say, yeah, we agree with you. You're too sick or ill, disabled to work. However, we're not going to help you get medical care for 2 years. I will not be eligible for Medicare until October of next year. I will have had to be on disability for 2 years before they'll give it to you. Yep. So, I haven't been to the doctor in a while. So, that kind of sucks. But there again, what are you going to do? The other thing that kind of sucks about disability, and I don't know how many of you will agree with me, some who feel like people are getting a free ride. I'm sure some of you are sitting there and saying, well, you fat ass, if you lose weight that you could work, and now you're living off the state and the government and all of that. Those memes that you see. But even if I were to be able to maybe get a part-time job to get out of the house or whatever, I could get a sit-down job where I didn't have to use my brain too much, because sometimes my brain just, kind of goes left field. And each case is different, because the disability lady who took my long interview, she was on disability and she got to work from home, and she's the one that told me that you can only make so much before you lose your disability. And I guess it's based on how much you get per month, because the amount she said that she could not make over, mine's a lot lower. Mine's a lot less. And I remember when I worked for Sam's Club years ago. It was in between my 2 stints as being a corrections officer. I was a corrections officer for almost 10 years, then I quit for a big chunk, and then I came back, and this is where I've resigned from. But in between there, I worked at Sam's Club. Loved working there. Had a good group of people. But I remember, because I was a team leader and I was in charge of people's time, there would be some people that worked like the produce department because they could stock apples and they could do bananas or whatever, and they worked part-time, and they were adamant about having to leave. Look, I'm going to go over. I can't make these more than this many hours. I've got to get off the clock. And they were adamant. And in my mind, I'm like, what? So you make a few extra bucks, But they find out you will lose your disability, and then you have to start the whole process over again and then try to convince them, yeah, I was working, but I'm still disabled. So in a way, I can kind of see how somebody would be hesitant to try to find another job and risk losing something that you can count on every month. And, you know, you fiber warriors, you know some months are worse than others. You know what I mean? As far as how you're feeling every day, even from day to day. And that's true for me too, so I get it. So with doing this YouTube channel, and the very first video I said I was going back and forth on whether or not to monetize my channel. And then I thought, well, you know, it takes a while for you to build up to where you're actually generating funds. So, and I've really, talking to another mukbanger or another YouTuber, it's going to take longer than I thought. So, which is okay. I still enjoy doing these. I really do. I mean, I'm doing a mini one, and I think I'm going to have maybe a half a sandwich more. So this is how the bread comes. And then they're little bitty slices. So I think I'm going to have, I'm having a good time chatting. Ooh, 36 minutes? Wow. I've hopefully been eating the whole time. I got caught up in my story. I think I have been eating the whole time. Anyway, I used my finger on this knife, but I'm the only one who eats this. My daughter doesn't eat it, the one who bought it for me, and my wife just, you know, gags when she sees it or smells it. So I can contaminate it if I want to. Anyway, so that's my story of disability. So, my wife. Now, if you know, I become real popular, and I was never one of those popular kids in high school or school. So I don't know how we'll do, but I may just have to privatize some of them so I don't make over that amount, or unmonetize them, I guess, for a while. If I start getting close to what I can't make over. I get super, super popular and find other things to do or other channels, I may be able to come off the disability, make enough that then I won't have to rely on that check. You know what I mean? But money's tight now because I really took a big hit. So I do what I can because I'm the reason why. Now, that even though it's not on purpose, you warriors, I'm sure that you can relate. You feel a lot of guilt for the things that are happening in the family. Or whether it's money lost because you had to walk away from the job. Housework suffers because you can't do what you used to do. So, feel a lot of guilt, and I'm really working on not feeling guilty because I didn't ask for this. You know what I mean? I hate it. I get angry a lot, but I try to work through it. Because it's nobody's fault. You know what I mean? Nobody chose for me to have this. I didn't choose for me to have this. But I must say, on a really, really happy note, you know, we've got an old scale. And so sometimes when you step on it, it'll say this amount. Then when you step on it again, you've lost 50 pounds. And then 2 minutes later, stand on it again, and you've gained 70. So, but pretty consistently, I've gone from blank 47 to blank 34. And it's been really, I mean, it's been bouncing between 34 and 35. So, I think the mukbangs that I'm doing, because I only eat them once a day, when I eat in front of the camera, except for, of course, this, I'll have something later because it's small, but bigger mukbangs, I don't know, dropped a little weight. I mean, it's dropped the bucket for what I got to lose, but it's something. It's going in the right direction, right? Even in spite of eating at 3 o'clock in the morning. Right now it's like 9:30 in the morning, so my daughter's at work and the wife's still asleep, so skin tag. I told you I had psoriasis, and the chocolate tea, my daughter made me drink some again, so it went away again. She made me a cup last night. but I have psoriasis. And when I fell, because my nerves and stuff got irritated, because dermatologist said don't ever do anything to irritate your skin, even if you get sunburn, it'll aggravate your psoriasis. Even when I have blood drawn, I get one dot of psoriasis where the needle went. When I fell, and I have photographs, but they're really gross, but the psoriasis got real bad on my face, real leathery, crusty looking. Now, because of that, I got started to get real close to the eye and all of that, but it's on my lips. It's got to be psoriasis because within a couple of hours, I'll have a layer of dry skin. And I'll have to get it off. And it keeps being right here. So I'm wondering if it wasn't the cream cheese or the baked potato and it was dry skin. I normally feel it. But anyway, talking about that, I hope that didn't gross you out. But what was my disability? Ups and downs. So the law firm I went through was very good. So if y'all need a name of a law firm, they're nationwide. Ask me in the comments, and I'll put it in the comment section. There again, what I was telling you in the beginning, I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to make a buck. Now, disability, that law firm finds out that I'm advertising for them in the comment section, and they want to say, hey, if you'll say it on your mukbang, we'll give you this much money. As long as they didn't over the amount that I'm supposed to get for disability. Because I've used them, and I believe in them, I would say yes. And then when the day of the mukbang that I would mention, I would say, hey, that law firm I told you about, such and such, well, they contacted me and they wanted me to endorse their law firm, and compensate me for it. I told them yes, so I'm telling you, go with such and such law firm because they're really good. I've used them, and that wouldn't be a lie. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do kind of like Mommy Tang. She loves mother-in-law kimchi. I would love to taste it, but she loves the mother-in-law vegan kimchi. She says it all the time. She advertises all the time. So to pay her, which she never, as far as I know, she didn't say, hey, give me some and I'll do this. And she just really always endorsed them. They sent her free kimchi. I mean, what a sweet deal that is. You love it anyway. You're going to put it on your mukbang anyway. And now you're getting, something like that. I wouldn't, hey, this doctor has this vitamin for fibro people. We'll pay you such and such money if you'll say the name on the mukbang. Well, I don't know. If I said yes, because we could use the cash, then I would tell you, look, these people sent me this. I've never used them before. Give them a try. I'd be honest with you. I don't know this company. They approached me. They really say it works. They're trying to get their name out there. It's up to you whether you try it or not, because I can't be fake and say it really works if I don't know. The chaga tea. I told y'all go buy yourself the brand of chaga tea. I think it really works. It makes me feel better. It's not a cure. It's not a miracle tea. It's mushrooms, dried mushrooms that turn into a tea, but it does make me feel better. And there again, if you want the name of my brand, ask me in the comments, and I'll tell you the brand in the comments. Because the medical medium swears that particular brand has a high concentration of actually the chaga mushroom. So I know that this brand helps. I have not tried the other brands, so I don't know if they help just as well that are cheaper. The tea is a little pricey, but not so pricey that I wasn't willing to try it. So Anyway, we're at 45 minutes, and I just had 3 little sandwiches. So, but I thought I wanted to get it out there about um, the disability, since it was in my first thingy. So if y'all have any questions, I'll try to answer them as well as I can. If I get a lot of them, I might do another mukbang about disability and answer y'all's questions if I get a whole bunch of them. That way everybody can know and not everybody's asking the same questions over and over again. And hopefully we'll get a dialogue started. But I hope this helped. Y'all have a really great rest of the day. It's only 9:30 in the morning here, Central Time, so plenty of time for me to get some more stuff done. I'm feeling kind of good today, so I'm working on laundry. It's in the so if you heard the beep, 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 that means the dryer's done. Uh, but anyway, y'all, God bless you. Positive vibes out to everybody. Please, please, please like and subscribe. Subscribe, subscribe. Did I mention subscribe? Anyway, it was kind of a not so funny mukbang today, but I felt that I really needed to get the info out there. So hopefully you are not bored to tears, and I'll put disability chat so you'll know. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Marty, Nikki, hope y'all are having a great, had y'all had a great weekend. Anyway, bye.